welcome to week 5. Congratulations on making it this far through the lessons and tuning in, paying attention. Congratulations on caring enough about yourself to invest the time and energy in doing this, to improve yourself and improve your self-worth and, and increase your income. Your brain on sales this week. Sales success mindset matters, right? Understanding customer needs is crucial for closing deals effectively. Your mindset matters and their mindset matters. We talked a little bit last time about getting them excited and with your tone, starting down and going up. And then when we were doing the exercises, we talked about storytelling, and I wanted to make sure that I touched on that at the beginning here. So leveraging emotional intelligence. There is a reason that people cry at movies, and it's called willing suspension of disbelief. If you've ever cried at a movie or seen someone cry at a movie, maybe you're just one of those stone cold people. Like, I used to never cry at anything, and now I've got 4 children, and I am just a weeping willow, a crying on his pillow. Maybe he's crying for me. And let me tell you, leveraging emotional intelligence, putting your pitch so that everything that you present is in a story format. You always hear people, and I want to tell you a story real quick. I want to tell you a story. That's one of the easiest ways to hook people is like, hey, I'm going to tell you a story. People love to just hear stories. They really do. And it has to be an interesting story. Otherwise, they're going to tune out, they're going to check out, and they're gone. You want to incorporate as many stories and metaphor into your pitch as you can, into the beginning pitch, your first little bit of pitch that you do. If you're pitching over the phone, you don't really have much time to do this, but you're definitely going to pitch, and you're going to tell them about yourself. They don't care about you unless it's relevant to your expertise. So you're going to say some things about how what's his name? Russell Brunson says you learned it or earned it. That's your learned it or earned it section is at the beginning as part of your first pitch. And that is a really easy place to basically bring yourself from 0 to 100 for them, and you become the guide for them, not the hero of the story, but the guy that they need. In their situation. They didn't know that they were in a crisis, but you've been through a similar crisis and you came out on the other side, and you can help them cross that gully. There's nothing like a hero story, and you tell them you were the hero of your own story, and now you've come out the other side and you're not the hero anymore because your story is not over, but it's onto a whole nother chapter. It's a new season, and now you're the guide that helps other people with their hero story, and you get them excited and you tell a story about them. And that's what future pacing is all about, is telling a story about them in the future, saying imagine yourself in the future with this, and you say your product, your service idea, and you say you're sitting around and you're just so excited, you're so happy, and it's all because of the service that I have to offer, the product I have to offer. Or and then you say, or you could choose to not go with mine, and then you tell another story of them in the future, just absolutely miserable. You know what I mean? And if a tactic known as a tactic blown, if they're like, oh yeah, I know, then you can ham it up. You know what I mean? Get campy with it, oh man, and then the world ends. You can just elaborate on it, just go with it. You know what I mean? Just roll with it. But in the end, then get serious again. After you get jokey and campy, get serious and have a positive mindset to enhance any kind of rejection that you're getting. When they're oh yeah, I hear that all the time. I bet you do, and I'm positive that you're about to hear it one more time, and it's actually gonna fucking sink into your brain this time. You know what I mean? You messing with the wrong one this time, my dude. Yeah, you do hear that all the time, but do you hear it 10 times in a row over and over again? I'm going to break down your walls and your barriers, and I'm going to smile at you the entire time I'm doing it. You got to smile at people. You know what I mean? And tell them a story about their success with your product or their failure without it. And, that's future pacing, and it's part of neuro-linguistic programming. but it's really easy. And we were talking about this earlier. 3 personality types, primal instincts, the fighter. So the person that would fight you if they saw you in nature, they're aggressive, they're controlling, they're assertive, they're tough to deal with, but they will pay top dollar in my experience. And there's other people that say that too, but the pain in the ass customer, when you can break down their walls finally and get them working with you, and sometimes you just got to tell them, like, look, I'm not going to deal with you like this. I'm not going to have you, like, what have I done to offend you? Like, why, like, why are you being abusive right now? People hate that word abusive. You know what I mean? They will turn around quick, especially nowadays. It's such a buzzword. You say, I'm not sure what I've done to deserve the abuse, but sometimes they just want to see that you've got a little fight in you and that you'll fight back, and then you're not just a little fucking pushover. So there's the fighter, and then there's the flighter, I call him. Wants to run from all sales scenarios. You know what I mean? They'll give you false hope, just like the fucker will. But the flighter is one of those people that's just like wants nothing to do. Usually these people are those 10% that just is not going to buy because they are running for the hills. They're not even coming onto the car lot. You know what I mean? Those 10% of people that aren't going to buy at all. They're not coming onto your car lot. They're not signing up for the timeshare presentation. They're not signing up for the timeshare. Oh yeah, I'm not. I just can't tell you how many of those people that you will still end up with, though, either because just life. I mean, they'll end up in your path. I mean, they may end up on your car lot because they need a car, right? And they want to run from every sales scenario. These are the people that will shop a million, and they'll say that they're smart, that they're logical. They'll say that they're logical and that they're shopping around and that they never make decisions, snap decisions. They never make, they always think really hard. These are the least successful fucking people in the world. They run from every opportunity. They are scared buyers. They're scared money. They project negativity out of their brain because they're constantly, think about the mentality of someone that would waste the time and the money and the energy shopping all opportunities, you know what I mean, to save a couple of bucks, that if you had devoted that time to making more money, you could have offset that expense and it wouldn't even matter, and you probably would have offset that expense and then some, you know what I mean? you shopped around for 2 days to save yourself, a couple $1,000s, and you could have made $10,000 in that 2 days. So like, how much are you worth, and how much is your time worth? You know what I mean? But for the fighter, they're an hourly employee. They're never going to be any more. Usually, they're a government employee. In fact, they weren't going to join the military. They're too scared to do that. But they weren't going to get a regular job. They just played it as safe as possible, and they work at the fucking DMV or something like that. That's the flighter. And no offense to anybody that works at the DMV. I've had nice ladies that work at the DMV, and nice people work there, but for the most part, they're kind of miserable. And I know government workers are kind of miserable, and it just is what it is. But you will have those people that you're just not going to sell. They're not buying anything. It just but they're still there, because they still need shit. You know what I mean? And you're going to have to deal with them. And sometimes they're rude. They're not aggressive or controlling or assertive, but they want to get out of there as quickly as possible. And they want the price. They're always going to tell you, I want the price. And Grant Cardone calls them the grinder. Like, I just want the price. The price is the only thing that matters. You know what I mean? Because they're just looking to get out of there. They're scared. They're scared of the salesperson that's going to take advantage of them because they're so weak-minded that's what could happen to them. Because they've been running from everything, because they have no mental fortitude, because they've been running from everything their entire life, and now they can't handle high pressure. They're the same people that say, oh, you're pressuring me, when you haven't even started pressure. You've only given them the price and asked for the sale once or twice, and they're like, you're pressuring me. So that's the flighter. They're trying to run, but they're in there to buy, and you gotta help them. And this is the thing with those people that care about price. You know, there's a million lines, and I've got them in the sales grimoire, a million spells that you can cast on these people. You know, because for one, there's good, fast, and cheap. You know, if something's good and fast, it's not going to be cheap, and if something's cheap and fast, it's not going to be good. Like fast food, it's garbage, right? You know, and a lot of times people will do you know, they'll find the best value in something that they wait for a little bit, like Temu. You wait for the shipping a little bit. You know, it's longer than Amazon, but sometimes you can get some really good stuff on Temu or Temu or whatever that is. You can get some stuff on there that's really high quality, and you did not pay much for it, but you waited for that shipping. You know, you waited a while for it. You know, so but you just didn't need it right away, and you know they saved on that shipping, so they just passed that savings on to you, and that's, you know, that's how a lot of things work. And you know, you just explain that to people, and you don't do it logically, you don't do it immediately. You've got to get their emotions involved somehow, but they're already really high. They want to run away, they're flight, so you need to relax them. If you can relax the flighter, you will close them every time, and they will be saying, man, I never make decisions like this. I never buy just off a whim. I never buy the first place that I come to. I never buy from the first quote that I get. You know what I mean? But you made me feel so comfortable. I feel so close to you. You know what I mean? Because you just got me to relax, and I was finally able to pull the trigger and make a decision for my freaking life. You know. But that's not many people, you know what I mean? These really aren't that many people. The most people you're going to see are the fuckers. Most people are fuckers. And I know that if my mom, when my mother, because she will eventually, you know, watch all these videos, when she sees this, she is going to flip out. She's going to be like, why did you say that? You know, you're a Christian, and you want to market to Christian people, and you've got that word in there so hard. And yeah, because it's true, you know, they say buyers are liars, and I just say that most people, you know, and that's the, you know, for uncarnal knowledge. That's the most, that's the most derivative version of the word that there is, but most people, they just want to be friends with you, no matter what, and will give you false hope. These are the people that Chris Voss talks about. You know, most people are friendly, and they are just gonna give you false yeses. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, and they're thinking about it. They always want to think about it. You know what I mean? They're your buddy. You know, then they might be kicking tires, and they might be semi-interested. You know what I mean? But they're not all the way interested. They're just your buddy. You know, and if they don't really need or see a need, if you haven't put that need in them yet, that they need your product, you know, if you didn't do a good enough job in your presentation planting that seed, then they are going to just tell you, yeah, I'll think about it and I'll call you later, and you know what I mean? Oh, I'll give you my business later. You know, you got to give their business now. You know, most people are just going to, they're always going to tell you later. You know, there's never going to come a good time. You know, that's the thing about most things that you're selling. There's never going to be a perfect time like, hey, I'm ready for that. It's so rare. Like, oh, I just, you know, I woke up today and the money was deposited in my account, and I did all the calculations. Like, you know, very rarely do people do budgets, and those people are not good with their money, and that's why they have a budget. And anybody that tells you that they have a budget or they have to check their budget, they know what it is. They're full of shit. You know what I mean? If you have a budget, you know what it is. You know what I mean? But if you tell me that you have to check your budget, I know that you don't really have one and that you're making that up, and that's an excuse. You know what I mean? Because if your budget says that we're doing it, are we doing it? Well, then do it, and then you can cancel it later when you can't afford it. You know what I mean? Like, we're just, like, fuck you. You know what I mean? We're going forward with this. Don't give me that bullshit excuse if you have to check the budget. So which are you? And which is your client? You're going to have to deal with, you know, all of them, and you're going to have to know which you are. If you are this aggressive, controlling, assertive person, you are going to have to tone it down. You're going to have to fake it till you make it on that. You know, you're going to have to learn how to be nice to people. You know, or you're going to have to find a, you know, when we were talking about your ideal customer, you know, one of the first exercises that we did, when we were talking about your ideal customer, who do you want that to be? maybe other aggressive, controlling, assertive people. You find that right product to market to them. Maybe you sell motorcycles. Who knows? And if you're one of these people, you probably didn't sign up for this course and you're not a salesperson. If you are this person and you are on this course because you're stepping out of your comfort zone, or you want to be in sales because you want to step out of your comfort zone, man, email me and I'll give you something for free. I'll send you something for free, because that is awesome. And applaud yourself for stepping out of your comfort zone. And if you're the fucker, if you're the one that wants to be friends no matter what, right? You're going to give yourself false hope, because you're going to walk out of a lot of sales scenarios and you're going to have gotten emotionally involved with the person, and you're going to give them all the logic, and then you're going to give yourself logic for why you didn't close the deal. You buy on emotion and you justify with logic, and you're going to buy why they didn't. You're going to buy why they didn't buy. You're going to buy their excuse. Not their reason, but their excuse, because it's always an excuse and not a reason. Well, rarely. Sometimes there's reasons, of course. I sound like an asshole now. But for real, if it's a deal where you should really close it, if the person has the money and it'll really benefit them, if your product will really benefit somebody, you have a moral obligation to sell it to them. You have a moral obligation to get it in as many hands, as many people as you possibly can. So are you going to give yourself false hope? Oh, they're going to call me back. Yeah, that's going to be a be back right there. They're going to call me back. They're going to come back into the store, or they'll call up later and they'll order what I've got, or or they'll call me later. It's not going to happen. Do not rely on be backs. That is a rookie mistake. No one is coming back to buy what you're selling. That is just a one in 100. I'll say 1 in 100 people. Are going to say no to you, and then come back later. Who knows? But you're going to have to learn how to relate to these things. And if you're this person, or this person, or that's what you have to look for. Is the biggest one is, are you going to just give up on yourself? Or are you going to give up too early when you could have closed a deal? Maximizing impact, sucker. So use strong visuals. If you have the opportunity to use pictures in your thing, talk about an emotional investment, right? Like, I got your attention with that. If I'm selling cars, I'm selling airbags, right? If I'm selling that car right there, you know what I mean? If I've got somebody in the room about to talk about some dollars, you know what I mean? And they're buying this car for their family, like, hey, I want you to see the crash test ratings on this, and just watch this, it's incredible, Or maybe show them that of the car that you don't want them to buy, because you don't want them imagining themselves inside their dead of their family. You know what I mean? Whichever car that you're not steering them towards, maybe, put a picture of it up there. But either way, you want to be concise. You know what I mean? And of course, it has to meet their interests and their needs. And statistics always help for things. That's when you're getting logical. But AIDA, attention, interest, desire, action, right? You've got to get their attention, and you've got to get, and the way to do that is by touching their emotions somehow. And people are afraid of two things when they're born. They're afraid of falling, and they're afraid of loud noises. And you got to figure out what they're afraid of. Are they afraid of loud noises or falling? I'm kidding. They're afraid of something else. People are usually afraid of going broke. They're afraid of losing their money. They're afraid of giving you their money in exchange for something that is going to suck. So, don't talk about, anything but that. Hit them with this money. You know what I mean? Get their attention quick. That is something that I have always done and I have always liked to do. A premium price for a premium product. Whatever I sell, I like to sell the best of the best. Just like Donald Trump says, there will always be a market for the best of something, and you can get somebody's emotional attention by anchoring them to a high price tag. I like to present at the beginning basically like double the price that I'm going to charge somebody for something. I'll say oh yeah, the average price for that, is about, X dollars, which is double what I'm really going to be selling it to them for. Or I'm going to add in so many benefits that for their logical brain that add up to that. But I can get your emotional attention by you thinking about, like, I'm not losing that kind of money today. They're going to immediately think about buying the product. And that sounds like resistance, but it's not. They're going to think about, like, what if I bought this product for that much money? That's a lot of fucking money. What would I not be able to do? I wouldn't be able to do it. But they're thinking about your product, and now they're emotionally invested, and you've got their attention. Right? So, and then Christ's, concise message, after you've qualified them and they actually have told you what their needs and their interests are, you've got their interests, their interests from before, from asking them their questions, their qualifying questions, and now you can do your pitch, and you've got your universal points that are good to make, and you've got your other ones, and you're going to steer them, and you're going to get their interest in your product because you know what their interests are. It just makes sense, right? But you have to do that, like we said, by asking questions that are relevant to your product. Include compelling statistics for credibility and desire, and that's a good one too. So credibility and desire, they're going to want it after you've gotten their attention, and you say that it's going to fit their needs and their interests, like what they want and what they need, and you've got their attention already, and now they want it. But it's usually because, and this is going to sound crazy, it's usually because it's beautiful. Women want something beautiful, and women make buying decisions, and decisions are made on emotion. So think about women. Every time I've ever sold something, when it was like a really big money, and the woman was being honest, she was like, it's so beautiful. I'm buying it because it's beautiful. I'm really excited, and I'm really excited that I can justify the purchase with all the other great things that you told me that it does, etc., etc. But in the end, I'm buying it because it's beautiful. I gave them the excuses. I gave them the logical decisions afterwards, but best believe that I was like, this is so beautiful right here. And that's why it's nice, like, as much as you can throughout your presentation, say beautiful. That's one beautiful thing about the product. Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? It's beautiful. And it's a beautiful idea even. It's got a real elegance to it, real beauty, sophistication, style, a richness to it. These are all strong, powerful words that you need to use, that you need to start using in your everyday life. Excellent, and desire, because people desire excellence. They lead such mediocre lives, people do. They want to be given something exciting to think about and to desire. That's what they really, they want to be. I want you to want me. Like that is every song on the radio. It's all about desire, and in the end, their decision. That's the other one that they say for AIDA is decision. And then action, their decision to act, but really the action, I think, is the decision. You know what I mean? This is the action. Emotion is energy without motion. You know what I mean? So people say that it's a waste of energy because energy should have motion with it. A truck should move with energy. And so action is that thing. It is the motion. The action is the decision. The decision is the action. Are they going to buy or aren't they? And that's the thing, is like you want a yes or a no, and give them permission to say yes and give them permission to say no. And Chris Voss has a whole thing in his book about people giving you false yeses, and get people to say no. And I completely agree. People will tell you no on average 6 times before they tell you yes, before they give you a yes. And it's so funny because for me, a lot of times it almost seems like when I get those no's about things other than, I'll ask them a question that I know they're going to say no to. I give them the option, and they say no. They say no to me, and they get comfortable saying no. You give them permission to say no. They don't want somebody that isn't comfortable hearing no from them. but they're uncomfortable saying no because they're so spineless. Most people are. No offense to you and no offense to the people that you know, but for most people, especially when it comes to a sales scenario, they're like, I want to get out of here, or I really don't want to do this, or I just want to be this guy's buddy. Can we just be buddies? Can I not buy something from you? Can we go out for a beer sometime or something like that? And it's like, you're going to give your business to the bar. You can go out and buy a beer with me, but you're not going to give me your business right here, right now. If you're really my buddy, you're going to give me your business right here, right now. You're not going to think about it. But that's why you get them to say no. That'll get them really comfortable with you. Believe it or not. And a tactic known as a tactic blown. So when somebody starts hearing you ask them questions that the only answer could possibly be yes, like, oh, that's the only answer to that question is yes. When they hear you say that, do that over and over and over again. Small commitments lead to large commitments. You do want them to say yes, but you want them to say no too. And in the end, what you want them to say is that's right. I don't try to get people to say yes to me. I say things and then I say, is that right? Am I right? And they say, that's right. I'm right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. That's right. That's right. That's how you get yes. That's how you get them to sign on the dotted fucking line, right? And it is all about, everything is vibration. Everything is tonality. You've got to use the right body language because your body and your brain are connected, and your mind has to be in a positive state, and it has to be sending out buying signals. Your mind, every thought creates a vibration into the ether that travels through, and your brain is an antenna, and it is a transmitter and receiver. So early organisms relied on touch for sensing an environment. Amoebas and single-celled organisms, they sense vibration. They don't have eyes. There's things that live in caves that don't have eyes at all, and they just sense vibration and they hear things. And then, they say that, and this is if you, subscribe to the evolution model, and I personally subscribe to a devolution model, but this is what you devolve through when you fall from grace, when you fall from higher consciousness. Ears adapted to perceive sound waves for communication. So ears, and then we got ears, and then eyes developed to see. So your eyes will lie to you, and you will believe them. And this is a subconscious thing, but your ears came before your eyes. They develop before eyes do, and you will trust your ears. You will trust your balance. Your balance is in your ears. And when your eyes see the car next to you start moving forward and you feel like you're rolling backwards, that is your ears and your balance actually telling you that you're moving backwards. So tonality is so important because it's primal. People hear sound waves. They feel your voice bouncing off of them. Is it a pleasant, nice voice to hear, or how does it sound? But that is your brain on sales. It is looking for vibration. And your conscious and unconscious mind. Conscious mind is aware of present thoughts and experiences. Unconscious is repressed memories and emotions. And you've got your pre-conscious, your unconscious. You've also got your superconscious, which is almost like this right here. This is your soul. And this is what we get into, down in the id and everything like that. But there's super conscious reprogramming that a guy named Chris Duncan does. And I've got great respect for Chris. He does great stuff. And he does basically, he's funny, but it's really neuro-linguistic programming, where he speaks to the he calls it the superconscious, and it's really, he doesn't put you under trance or anything like that. And he says that your superconscious is like your soul, and your soul speaks to the subconscious, and the subconscious creates the changes in your mind. Your subconscious, cues for effective communication and persuasion, right? You want to speak to somebody's subconscious in one way or another, and you can study other neuro-linguistic programming to see how to put people into trance and stuff like that, but you don't really need to put people in a trance. to be a good, effective salesperson, especially when you're like really quick, especially if you're making cold calls on the phone. I mean, what are you going to put somebody in a trance for? You know what I mean? But you're still speaking to their subconscious. How are you speaking to their subconscious? Through your tonality. If you're on the phone, then you're speaking with their tonality. Hey, how's it going? You want to be excited. You want to be excited, but not too excited. And hey, the reason for the call, and you need to learn how to run your words together like that. Like almost like you're rapping. Oh, did I mention that you should practice rapping earlier? Oh, I did, didn't I? That's going to be really useful. That's going to be, you see how I did that? That's going to be really useful for you when you get on the phone and you start talking to people and things like that, right? And then another thing with tonality, you want to go up. You want to go up on proper noun. I'm Thomas. I'm Thomas Faulkner. Is this Miss Henderson? Miss Henderson? Hey, how's it going, Miss Henderson? I work for I work for on-time service, HVAC service. I work for CVS. Who the hell ever you work for? I work for Walmart. Any kind of proper noun you want to go up on, and use an inflection like that, and then any kind of people are really sketchy about money. They care about money, so their subconscious cues. When you talk about their money, if you're going to run their credit, or you need a down payment, or you need to know how much they make per month or something like that, like just a ballpark, you're just their buddy. It's cool. Tell their subconscious, with your subtext, think this while you're saying it's no big deal. And what could it hurt? No big deal. We're buddies. Think that when you're asking things about their money. We're buddies, and I'm not prying into your business, but I do need to know this stuff, for us to carry on, and that's what you're really doing. You're speaking to the subconscious. You need to start listening for, not what the person says, but what their subtext is actually saying, All right, and like I said earlier, your mind acts as the vehicle driving the process forward, right? Just like a vehicle needs maintenance, your sales strategy must be constantly reviewed. The customer is in the vehicle with you. By using your mind as a vehicle, you can navigate challenges and reach your destination. In other words, by using your mind is the most powerful thing. And what I was saying about it being a transmitter, you're sending the vehicles from your mind. Your client is in your mind with you. You're letting them into your world and into your thoughts, into your thought patterns and things like that. So what's it look like in there? What's your vehicle look like? Clear it out. What's your mindset? I didn't put it on the list, for these courses or anything, but you should definitely check out the book called Mindset. It's great. But if you checked out Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, you're on your way to doing just that. You need to think about emotions in yourself and in your client. Are they feeling guilt or remorse, and are you feeling that for something you've done or in your past, things like that, right? Is bad for what you did, motivated by fear and punishment. Remorse is genuine regret for hurting others, focused on making amends, right? The important thing to take away is that guilt leads to self-punishment and self-blame, whereas remorse leads to empathy, understanding, and personal growth. These are two different words that are used interchangeably sometimes, but words are so important, guys. That is why I have my book is the Sales Grimoire, because every word in our brains and that come out of our mouths are magic, absolute 100% magic. And you are casting spells with every thought and with every word that you speak. That is why it's called spelling, So use the right words and make sure that you're headed down the right path for what happened. Make sure that if you have some kind of, negative event or something that happened to you in your past, that you are focusing on empathy and understanding, and personal growth through that situation, and not just sitting in guilt and punishing yourself for it. Do not, dwell in that. I don't believe you're on that path, though, since you signed up for this course. But if you are, then, we definitely have things that can help you. I was talking about superconscious reprogramming, but I actually do quantum recharging. It's a service that we offer where we, it's very similar to quantum healing hypnotherapy, but quantum, it's the same level of trance, but instead of working on healing something physical, we work on healing, mentally. And we work on seizing opportunities, things like this, like positive focus. We can recharge your focus. Your brain is not a, it's a transmitter receiver, but it's also a muscle, and it's not like a computer where it just has so much memory and that's it, and it just has a certain operating speed and that's it. You can improve it, by focusing on it, right? And you can actually manifest opportunities in your life by focusing on opportunities and saying that opportunities come to you. You will manifest them, and if for no other reason, then you'll start paying attention to and seeing the opportunities around you, right? Focus on positives. You'll attract more opportunities. And so this is the thing, take a second to look in the room around you and see how many things you can find that are the color purple. And if there's nothing in the room that's the color purple, then look for anything that is the color blue. And count all the things. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 3, 2, 1. How many things did you count, right? Okay, so how many blue things, how many purple things, whichever color you picked, right? How many things were there? Okay, cool. Now tell me how many red things you counted. And close your eyes, don't look around the room. How many red things did you count? You missed the opportunities you're not looking for. You know what I mean? Like you just don't focus on things. It's called your reticular activation system. And that's why, I'm talking about this for your brain on sales. Your reticular activation system is the part of your brain that filters out all the excess crap that you don't need to know about. All the stuff that's not going to keep you alive or that's not important. And so when you train yourself to think there's never opportunity or it doesn't come to you or something negative like that, you train yourself to look for things that will reinforce that ideology in your brain. So when you start to say something else, then you start to look for something else and you find something else in your reality. And whether or not that's actual manifestation or just you recognizing what was there all along, it's really a little bit of both, because scientifically, the whole manifestation thing is absolutely, provable, just like the flatness of the earth. So, but learn from history, grow and improve, reflect on past mistakes for personal growth, use past experience as lessons, not a punishment, turning mistakes into opportunities. When you look back on a mistake or you look back on a hardship, just focus on the focus on the lesson and the benefit that you learned, and it's something that you'll do over time. Like your brain is a muscle that you're going to flex and work and get better. But in the end, that's why I offer the recharging, because we'll get down to the deepest level of trance, into the quantum realm where time and space, we're going to collapse the wave function, and we will recharge your focus and everything like that, your muscles' ability to focus, your brain muscles' ability to focus, and look for lessons and improvements and opportunities. It's something that I did for myself years ago, under the help of Dr. Joe Dispenza, in fact, ironically. So, Book of the Week, Becoming Supernatural. I know he already had another one, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, but this one is absolutely important. Can you accept the notion that once you change your internal state, you don't need the external world to provide you with a reason to feel joy, gratitude, appreciation, or any other elevated emotion? That's the thing. It's just like the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Are you reactive? Do you live a reactive life where all of your emotions are based on things that happen outside of you? Or do you have the ability to control your state of mind and say, you know, like, this person being rude to me doesn't bother me. I'm going to steel my mind, and I'm not going to get upset. You can choose not to get upset. You know, I know, like, if you've ever been in a situation like where your mom was like, don't look at me like that, don't talk back to me, whatever, you know, you've had to, you know, show self-control. And it's crazy because it seems like some people, like, when you don't get to have any autonomy when you're a kid, you just go crazy when you're an adult and you have no self-control whatsoever. But the fact is, you have a complete self-control over your body and your mind to the point of your emotions. You can make yourself feel joy and gratitude and appreciation. You can cultivate, and your muscle will flex and become, you know, stronger. You know, and then we can, you know, basically program your subconscious to focus on the joy and the gratitude in life if you've been stuck, you know, thinking about other things. So this is all about your brain on sales. The corpus callosum is the bundle of nerve tissue that connects the two hemispheres of the brain. It's the center lane of your brain. So juggle 10 minutes every day to strengthen this thing. Any kind of crossing the midline activities, like touching your palm, your right palm to your left knee, will do this too. It'll help you get ready for, you know, you should do this before any kind of, you know, work or exercise or any kind of reading or studying that you're going to do. But, you know, concentrate, you know, see what it does for your coordination and concentration after 1 week. And if you don't know how to juggle, I mean, just look it up on YouTube. You know, I'll see if I can post a video teaching you the basics. Summarize sales techniques specifically designed to engage the left brain and one for the right brain. Discuss how these techniques can be applied in sales scenarios. And, you know, I mean, it almost sounds like homework. You know, don't take it too seriously. Honestly, you could just talk about the technique of storytelling, or you could talk about mirroring and matching. You know, there's other ones. I mean, you can Google. I'm sorry I haven't given you that many techniques, but you know, it's this is all very basic stuff. So if you want you know, more advanced techniques and things like that, you know, I've got more advanced books, and I've got the Autobahn lessons that you may want to sign up for if this is all too basic for you. Reflect on a recent sales experience where you successfully engaged both the logical left brain and the emotional right brain aspects of the customer's decision-making process. Identify specific techniques you use to tap into each lane effectively. So, you know, this could be like when you were with somebody and you tapped into their left brain. Like, you said something that was a logical point that really landed with them, that they looked at you and they were like, oh yeah, that's definitely it. So, you know, what technique did you use? You know what I mean? To deliver that. What tonality did you use? And, you know, what tactic? You know, technique really is, you know, interchangeable for tactic. Like I was saying earlier with acting, you know, you don't act, you play tactics. And that's really, life is all acting. Life, all the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players. That's fucking Shakespeare, you know what I mean? You just can't, he doesn't get any more real than that, you know, words like that. You know, for some people, Shakespeare is, you know, like the Bible. So, you know, when he says it, you know, and of course, by now, if you haven't lived long enough to see that that's 100% true, then, you know, eventually you will, and you'll see that all the world is a stage. And so your ability to act and deliver tonality in a way that is compelling for people, that they will believe you, like Tom fucking Hanks, is crucial. You know, life is sales, and everything you get is a commission, and all the world's a stage, and nobody likes a shitty actor. You get booed off stage. So, and then emotions. How did you tap into their emotions? You know, what is it that you said that got them, like, kind of, you know, or, you know, maybe you didn't get them, like, sad. That's the thing. I've been talking about making them sad and scared, and, you know what I mean, they should make a decision. You know, get people excited. You know, in the end, they should be excited to buy. You know, because you're not planting that, you're planting that fear. You're making them feel that fear because that's where they are right now. You know, and then you're building them up, and then the emotion is how amazing they're going to feel and how amazing their life is going to be after they've gotten whatever it is that you're offering them. You know what I mean? That's what you're guiding them towards, and that's what you're ending on. That's what you're certain of. You know what I mean? I'm certain that this is going to make you feel just amazing, and it's going to solve all your problems. I'm going to hit you with some logical things too, and then and sign, just sign here, please. And then, if you've got some time, take some time to reflect on your strengths and weaknesses. Pick 2 past experiences related to specific goals you went for and reached, and one you haven't yet reached. So pick a goal that you've gotten, recently or in the past that was kind of a big deal. You were like, oh, I really want that. And, reflect on it and, what you learned from that success, and how you can leverage that success and the strength of that, what you did in that situation to overcome that challenge and reach that new height. How can you do that again? How can you apply that same framework to the other one that is, you went for and you haven't reached it yet? You don't fail. There's no such thing as failure. If you fail, it's because you didn't get it and now you're done and you don't want it anymore. And there's no shame in that if you don't want anything anymore. But don't lie to yourself. You know what I mean? Don't be the fucker that just wants to be friends with yourself and justifies like, oh, that's okay. Let yourself off the hook for it. You know what I mean? Check out this framework where you achieved success and greatness and you went for it, and you didn't do it this time. But how can you overcome challenges and reach new heights in the thing that you haven't done yet? So, man, thank you so much. Let me run it back to that one. Thank you so much for. Checking out these videos again. I ended the last video a little abruptly, but I just want to let you guys know that I really appreciate you, and I really am hoping that you get value out of these videos and the workbook and these lessons. Even if you are brand new to it, I hope it's digestible for you. And if you're somebody that's been in sales a while, I hope you're learning something here and there, some little tidbits, and it's worth your time and effort. So, aloha and namaste, and we'll see y'all on the next lesson.